Sun in the sky, you know how it feels. Breeze drifting on by, you know how it feels. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Thank you, Estelle. We'll in any event keep on talking. So thank you once again. All right, I think we can get the show on the road. Just as a little bit of an introduction, we launched this circle on 17 August 2023. It was quite a cold day, if you can remember. We were in the hall at the Capital Park Primary, and I normally say, bring blankets, it's cold. And then normally no one takes me seriously, so that everyone is cold. But yes, we launched it, a circle consisting of 18 strangers that were very different in many respects. I think I'm going to just speak on my own. So, can you hear me? Yes. I sense a little bit of an echo, so let me just go. I think my voice can carry. So, yes, 18 strangers that were in many respects very different, but alike in the goal to make a difference and create the future they want. No one knew exactly where this journey is going to take us and what the outcome might be. But so it was therefore not really strange to see a little bit of anticipation, some reservation, and lots of excitement in the room when we completed the launch. Good morning, Priya. Thank you, seat anywhere there. You're welcome. So what will happen today is you'll meet the 8 people and you'll share in their journeys and the stories of their journey. And they will tell you about their own growth and development and what happened to them as partners. You will also get a peek into the projects they tackle together at the schools. And you'll witness the difference it made in schools and in business alike. And without sharing too much and giving you too much detail up front, I can only say it was really a privilege for me to walk the road with them and to witness the passion and the determination and the resilience they displayed. Because life happens to all of us, and change was often at the order of the day, both in schools and business alike. And they were really daring greatly, as Brene Brown would say. Before we start, I just want to acknowledge the presence of some people in the room. Some of our sponsors of the circle, Mix Telematics that's here. Some of them will join us later, JA Engineering and so on. The circle was of course also sponsored by EK's Vehicle Tracking, Momentum, Metropolitan, Capitec, FEMF and Barloworld. And also the representatives from the Department of Education, Anton from South, and we'll also get someone to join us from North, and some members from West later on. And also just our Citizen Leader Lab management. Thank you very much for joining us today. And just on a practical note, the restrooms is right down the aisle. Please feel free to get yourself a water or some juice at any point in time. There's still a little bit of eats left. If you want more cream on the scones, please tell me, we'll do that for you. But without further ado, we're not going to follow the program exactly as it's set out because Brendan is stuck coming from Joburg. So we'll start with Susan and Bev, and I didn't even give you an advance warning, but we'll start with the two of you first, and then as soon as Brendan arrives, we'll then tackle Lydia and Brendan. Otherwise, we'll just proceed with the program, go to Johan and Rabia as the program goes along. So we're just going to get 3 chairs, and please can the 2 of you join me in front, Dave and Susan. I'm first just going to focus a little bit on the I, and we'll dwell there for just a little bit of time. And start with you, Susan, the principal of CAS Swart, but also caretaking Oosmoed currently, hence we are here today. And thank you for graciously making the venue available to us. If you had to speak to another principal and they say to you, oh, they got a call and to come on the program, what would you say to them?
Well, thank you, Marie, or Doctor, actually. You know, when you first called me, I was extremely reluctant. I remember. My plate was full and I was tired and I really didn't look forward to this. And eventually I decided, like I normally do, if it will improve me as a principal and help to improve my school, I will definitely do that. So to another principal, I would say, do it, because it enriches you. It changes the way that you communicate with people, the way you listen to people, and overall the way that you function as a person. So to me, it has been inspiring, although lately I wasn't that involved because of my other commitments, so it was quite hectic. And Beverly and I, you know, when we speak to one another, we make appointments with one another, and then this happens and that happens, and I'm not available, and then when I'm available, Beverly is not available. But we made plans, and eventually we managed to get things going.
Thanks for sharing that. Bev, you've said a number of things about the benefit you got from a business perspective. And of course, you carry a lot of responsibility being the control room manager, which even in one of our training, it happened that there was a hijacking and you were managing that and someone's life was at risk. What would you say if someone from EKS says, oh, I'm contemplating to join or not?
So when I joined the program, it happened very abruptly. But I'm always keen on learning new things and meeting different people from the different levels of industries that we have. So when I then joined, I was looking forward in acquiring more leadership skills, and this has actually helped me to extend my network. Not just with Suzanne, but with the rest of the team that I have.
And what has changed for you in your environment?
I think for the longest time, in leadership, especially if you're female, at some point or another, we feel alone in the journeys that we take. But being a part of this group, I've actually gotten to see that actually the challenges that I go through, it's quite common, and I have people that I can liaise with when facing those challenges.
100%. And what did you learn from Susan? You made a joke in our last talk and you said she has this very quirky sense of humor, and it's actually a pity that she wasn't there.
Yeah. So from Susan is extremely committed to everything that she touches on. So from big projects to the very minimal projects that she does, she goes in 100%. She's a lot like me, ons vat alles behalve. So what I've learned from her is to just pace yourself when you are acquiring more things on your plate, so that at the end of the day, you manage to get everything that needs to be done.
And what was the benefit of having a partner for you, and what did you learn from Bev?
You know, I actually never wanted to be a principal. I always thought I was going to do something different, something better, you know, make a difference. And I have come to learn, whether you are in education or in corporate, we all have the same problems. We struggle with our staff, we have challenges, we have goals that we have to meet. And I learned that, you're never alone. There's just somebody, a phone call away, that can help and support you. You must just be brave enough to ask, and help will be given to you.
Absolutely, thank you. And then lastly, just on you, I think some of the things you said is you show a lot more empathy now towards your staff, and you feel the relations will also improve.
Yes, that's correct. So I have quite a number of nicknames in our organizations, and one of them was Cruella. And, yeah, and mainly that was because of the disconnection between me and the subordinates. So what I've learned with the skills that I acquired here is to have more empathy towards individuals. As much as I want to reach the goalpost set by the organization, there's also a human element that should take priority as well.
And lastly, before we go to your projects, you said some of the skills really helped you when you came to Ismoot, because it's a brand new team, you don't know them from a bar of soap, and now you need to take over and manage in the midst of some turmoil.
Yes, and when a person is set in your ways, they've been doing things the same way for years and years on end, so that actually makes it a bit more difficult. And there was a few antagonistic people, especially from where people were acting. And now I'm there, and the way that they've been doing things, and I have my own way of doing things, and I have experience in what works and what doesn't work. And if you take the departmental tools, we had to now do the functionality, SGB functionality, we had to do the building blocks and all those things. What helped me a lot was I brought all of this to the SMT. They were not used to being involved in decision making and in developing all these tools. The principal used to do it by himself. And so they were not empowered to do those things. And all I did is I gave them the power and I let them make the decisions, and then we just summarized everything and brought everything together. So with them being involved, I got their respect, and also they learned that it's not because I'm just thumb sucking and I just want to change things. I believe that why try to reinvent the wheel if it's there already? So I just put a few things in place, and we're working together very, very well.
And of course you had to listen very well.
Oh yes, listening. And everybody will come in and sit down and say, this is not working at this school, you must change that. And so the whole idea is to listen to everybody and get their inputs and make informed decisions. And also don't just change things because of change, but for improvement.
Okay, so let's go to your projects. You tackled a few things together. So you can display for us, thank you, Dion, so that they can just see their stuff. Who's taking us through it? You, Susan.
I will.
There's clearly synergy in who's going to do what.
At CS SWAT, we have, currently we have 1,200 odd learners. There was a stage where we had 1,400 learners. And after COVID, we realized that our kids are malnutritioned, they are struggling from poverty, and kids fall asleep in class, and the main aim is to improve their academic results. But if a child is hungry and falls asleep in class because of the sugar levels that are either high or low, then academic progress will not take place. So we started off with a feeding scheme that was mainly driven by the educators, where we would contribute on a monthly basis and give the learners food. But then with this partnership, we started off, I applied to the Department of Agriculture, although I haven't received anything yet for a sponsor, but hopefully something will happen one day. So we started off with this vegetable garden, which we started off with nothing. There was nothing at first. I don't see anything.
Yeah, it's not so clear because of the
So we established a team under the leadership of a teacher, and she elected a couple of learners. So the before picture you will see there's just the ground. We just prepared the ground, and then after they started planting and the vegetables started growing, they were very proud of themselves, and this also helped to alleviate some of the pressure on our feeding scheme, because we normally give learners before a holiday, we also give them food parcels that they take home. And now we can, as you can see in that after picture, there the kids are with the produce that they grew themselves and that they took care of. So they were responsible for the garden themselves. So we had 10 learners that would every afternoon go and water the garden, remove the weed and everything to make sure, so that we can start sharing this with our learners. In the beginning, we were quite afraid that the vegetables would somewhere just disappear, but we secured a piece where it is secure, and now we can hand that out to our learners, and it has been grown by our own learners. And they also developed some skills as to when to plant, when to water, and when to also harvest the vegetables.
And then it was yours.
So in total, just to track back a bit from what Susan was saying, we had 4 projects that we were running with. So she just mentioned now the feeding scheme, where we then did the garden, and we were able to feed the kids from the garden. The second one that we did is that we addressed the moral issues that was happening from grade 8 to grade 10 learners. So we went out and identified speakers that would be able to connect with the learners, a speaker that has the same background as them, to come and boost their morale. So we had Tshwane Peterson, who came to give motivational talks with the school. And we also had Estelle, who was actually singing here. She's also a motivational speaker. So on that day, she also came in to address the kids, to just share experience with them on the life challenges that they had, which is similar to the background that the kids are now facing. So it was quite a success. We've already seen results of those motivational talks where there's certain kids that actually raise their hands to say, this is the direction that I would like to take. How can you guys assist me in getting there?
On the hygiene one.
On the hygiene one as
Yes.
well.
All right. So on the hygiene one, initially it started as a pet drive for the kids. But then we decided we don't want to separate them. A boy child is just as important as a girl child. So we then decided to make it bigger, to say it's a hygiene drive instead of a pet drive, to accommodate both the boys and the girls. So we were able to raise a number of pets, and we have another pending sponsor that is going to give a gift to the boys so that we can appreciate both our boys and our girls. Then the last project that was done, that Susan speaks on it, the team building with the SMT.
Yes, the team building by the SMT has been disrupted because of my move here to Westwood. But we did the personality test, the Enneagrams, and we have received feedback on those, and that's quite interesting.
the last photo will show the SMT that we currently have. There's just one photo that I spotted that I neglected in the yeah, but this is something perfectionist. So we have some internal appointments as well. We are still going to do the feedback, and we also received a sponsor work for this. So it's quite enlightening. When I went to CSWAP on Wednesday, Mr. Basona, he is the person that's filling in for me. He's my auntie guy, but he's my left-hand guy, right-hand support system. He's my everything at CSWAP. And it's going well there because my SMT has been, or the members have been empowered to take charge and to run their departments effectively, and so much so that they actually don't need me because they have Mr. Basson there. And he just said to me, "You won't believe, myself and Mrs. De Beer, we are number ones." So that is quite interesting to see how we have the certain connections and the way that we lead our departments, where we have some common areas that we share. And for a manager, this is very important because you need to know who to ask to do what, so that your whole system can operate optimally. So you need to know your staff members and their strengths and their weaknesses. So I know which one not to give something that's important. But there where I want drastic improvement, I know which ones to assign to which duties, and that makes leading a school with 1,200 learners, or at this school we have 1,500 learners. As soon as you get to know your people and their strengths, it makes it much easier to manage.
Thank you very much, guys. Any last thing that you would like to say or feel? As we always say in the thinking environment.
I know we spoke about this the last time when we said this is a big program. I believe the integration needs to be reviewed. So by the time we are approaching the end of the program, that's actually when we're finding our feet in the program.
You were saying 18 months.
18 months. And my takeaway from this program is that in any organization, there's a village outside of people that are actually rooting for your resources.
And I think with the connections we made, we also realized that we have similar challenges, and by sharing, we can not only improve ourselves, but also our stakeholders, and bring something new, something different that can improve our situation.
Thank you so much, ladies.